All right, so we remember that if we put the hook in and go around the side, this is what we were doing last week, right? When we extend the leg and then walk this leg over simultaneously, we end up here. Maybe the legs will land here or here, who knows? But we do have to now cross the outside leg all the way over and figure four, right? And then from here you see it's already exposing the heel. And so if we can lock the toes under the armpit, come across the Achilles tendon with the top hand down, maybe even put this hook underneath the knee here, right? And then clasp the hands with no thumbs. Even right here we can start to finish, all right, with the heel hook. Now Bob, of course, knows that if he puts a little pressure on my legs to get the hook out, right here, the right one under my under your knee, yeah, right there, just like this, he can now start to walk away, right? Big step and pull the foot out, yes, right? And because he turns the angle of the knee down, the heel hook is rendered ineffective. See, the heel hook works because I keep the toes. You see his toes here? His toes are pointed towards the mat, but they're locked in place and they can't move. And when I hold those against my body, I take the forearm across the Achilles and I move the heel the other way. And of course the knee is also being held from moving. So once I have toes, heel, or toes, Achilles, and knee all together, it's hard for him to move. So his option is to put a little pressure on the legs and then take a big step. And when he takes that first big step, if I'm holding on very tight, go ahead and take the step. See, I may lose, freeze right there, I may lose the lock, right? I may lose the heel hook, but I haven't lost the leg entirely, right? If I continue to hold on and he sees that the running away isn't working, and how do I hold on? That ridge part of my forearm, it goes right here behind the heel. It's like a handle, right? It's like a handle, and I just lock myself there and I hold onto the leg and I try to squeeze down here and not let the leg free. He may now decide that this walking away defense isn't working and he's got to convert to the roll, right? So even from the standing position, he can start to move towards the ground and then step over with his right leg, right? And this is when right here, now the foot is turned up, and because it's turned up, I can't expose the heel in the opposite direction anymore. The leg became straight. Right? The leg became straight. And of course, if he can reach my grips, like we saw last week with his foot, then he can free himself. Or alternatively, he can even take this foot and just push my legs and start to back his hips up a little bit, right? And free himself. So what I want, let's go back one step. Just take a step back over. Great. And then put your foot back over here and start in the heel hook, right? As he's walking away, if I notice that's his first defense, I may want to stop trying to go for the submission. In other words, it's not about how strongly I can squeeze and then force the submission to finish or force the submission to be executable. It's about how much connection I can keep. So even if I have to give up my grip and put both hands on the leg, if I force him to not be able to defend by walking away, now he's obligated to roll. And as he rolls, look, I also adjust. You see, I follow him. And now you can see what's happening. If I can get my hand through here like this, right, and lock under his heel, I can just put the pressure forward with my hips and bend his leg the other way and start to execute some type of knee bar here, right? Or I can even just hold on to the foot. Now, better that you hold from the bottom than the top, because he's trying to put the foot in this direction. So if I can come underneath with my second arm, again, behind the Achilles, and keep it close to me, and now just start to turn towards the leg. I want to push the hips forward like an arm lock, and I want to extend my upper body away, right? And again, do this slowly. I'm trying to move slowly so that he's got plenty of time to tap, right? As soon as you feel pressure, you should tap. We missed the heel hook. He tried to run. We forced him to do a rollover technique to defend the heel hook, but because we kept the leg, we were able to convert the heel hook into the straight leg lock, which is the same exact thing as an arm lock, except it's on a leg. Leg lock. So, a couple tips here for finishing a leg lock. Most likely the foot's going to end up in front of you. If you can swim this hand through here and then hide the foot in your armpit, you know, this is nice, and now you just sort of clamp everything down and you're going to push the hips forward and do the windshield wiper away at the same time, and you may be able to get some pressure, right? It's unlikely that that will happen because of the scramble. Usually the foot pops out. And it's a big thing now to have to swim all the way under and hide the foot in the armpit. So just keep it where it is. Try not to grab from the top. Try to let the foot fall into the elbow that's waiting right here at the bottom, right? And now you can just hold everything tight, and you're going to pull the foot this way, right? You're going to move backwards like a windshield wiper, this way. You'd like to stretch the leg long, just like you do the arm. Remember when we have the arm lock, we have to lift the shoulder up and then begin to stretch the arm from the shoulder down all the way through the fingertips. So the same thing's going to happen with the leg. When we hold the heel, we're not just going to try and crush forward and shoot our hips into the knee. We're going to try and extend the leg a little bit, get it long, bring it with us. And once we feel that the leg is tense, see, I can feel now the leg has a little pliability. But once I stretch the leg and the leg becomes rigid, that's when I start to apply my hips, right? And again, very, very slowly here. Let your partner have the time he needs to tap, because the knees have slow pain receptors. We don't want anyone getting injured unnecessarily. Very slow. Let's look at some of the details of the transformation. Let's take one step back again, Bob. All right. So we have the, thank you. We have the heel hook, and we're trying to apply it, and maybe we can't get the foot under here. See, Bob's a little taller. I can't use this to make him sit down. He manages to stay on his feet. He's got good base, but he can't run away because I hold tight, even if I lose the heel hook grip. So as he walks away and I hold on, he's forced to now roll to defend, because he needs to turn the leg upside down so the foot and the knee are in the same line. So as he rolls, I'm just going to follow him. Now freeze right here, look. If I stay here and just let the leg fall where it naturally falls, he's already got the foot turned appropriately, and the knee's starting to come out above my shin. You see? What I'd really like to do is have the knee like super deep, be all the way up on the knee. It's the knee's like the elbow would be for the arm lock. So I would like to be above the knee as close to the thigh as possible. In the course of rolling and stepping, that's pretty unlikely. You may very well lose that. So you're just going to keep as tight a grip or as close of a grip as you can on the leg. And as he falls, if you stay like this, you don't have the angle you need. So you do need to make a little shrimp to scoop the hips out from underneath. And when you see the hips right here holding the leg up, when I take them away, watch where the leg falls. Boom, right into the elbow. Now I bring that with me, right? And I just hold it tight. I can hold here, I can hold here, but definitely try to get the Achilles tendon, the heel, in the crook of the bottom elbow. And now you can scoot down a little bit and adjust the hips, crunch your body up, make the adjustments you need, and then start to put a little tension in the leg by extending. Once it's extended, now I push the hips forward and then arch the back away. All right? So we're converting the heel hook into a straight leg lock. All right? Bob gets me in this heel hook position by curving around the corner, dropping the hook, switching the legs, now moving the whole hand to the other side, the heel's exposed. I think, no problem. I know this. I'm going to push and walk away, and he holds on. Uh-oh, can't walk away because he's got a hook. He's glued. Now I have to defend by rolling. So I put the hands down and I step over. I think I'm great. I'm free from the heel hook. But what Bob does is he follows a little bit, gets the hips out from underneath, drops the heel into the bottom elbow, and just locks it tight, right? Everything's pretty much the same. The knees are closed. If you lost the figure four back here, it's not as good, but it's not a big deal. That's going to happen in the roll. This is a way you can convert the submission. What he'd love is for his hips to be above my knee. He would love to have this leg here. If he has the time to do that because the grip is tight enough, he can adjust and he can put the hips above the knee. If not, right, let's say we go back down. If not, what he needs to do is just do a little wiggling back and forth, away with the hips and then in with the hips. And exactly, you see how he's taking me around the corner, right? And what that's doing is it's straightening the leg. Right now the leg's a little bit like this, and as he extends it, the leg's becoming stiff and rigid. It's at its full potential. At this point, as long as he keeps pressure here, he can start to extend the body away and then put pressure on the hips. And right there, I feel the pressure on the knee, just like I would an arm bar. It's going to feel exactly the same as an arm lock, right? But it's on the leg lock. Okay, let's try this. Thanks a lot.